Well now, time for one of our last upgrades then. Or penultimate upgrade, I suppose. Oh my goodness, they have a lot of stuff stacked up over there. Dawning Spire. Wow. It's on top of a big skull. Yeah, that makes sense. Just a hell of a visual. Alright, library or infirmary? Library seems like the interesting one here. Constructing library on the spire allows you to research magical knowledge, edicts, and artifacts. Once built, resting in any spire, grants a bonus to lore and all magic skills. Yeah. I don't have a lot of money right now, unfortunately. So that's a bummer. Turns out 2 back-to-back spires is a lot of money to deal with, especially when one of those spires is the one that lets you upgrade all your weapons, or say, the entirety of the armor of your primary tank. Keeps you busy. Whoa, there's a visual. Okay. Wow, this place seems nice. There's no one here at first. There's Sage Garrus. Let's go on a little trip, run around. Maybe discover secrets on this place, because that apparently happens, like last time. What's here? Just scrolls? The idea that I can grab scrolls off of ledges and stuff, and then that'll probably turn into scrolls I can use to do research here is weird, because like it was already here. A small collection of structures rest precariously on a sheer cliff. Is that the only one? Immense crystals envelop what remains of the land in all directions. Greetings, Fatebinder. The sage bows low before you, the quills in his hood brushing the ground. I don't believe we've met. Indeed, and I'm afraid I have you at a disadvantage. He nods. Sage Garrus, formerly of the Vellum Citadel, scribe and researcher extraordinaire, not to bore you with the honorifics. When I heard about the library you were building, I just had to come. I watched the workers as they hauled the stone and scrolls up here. There was an awful lot, and they were very tired, so I did what little I could to assist. Then, on the last day, as everyone was leaving, I just stayed behind. I don't remember hiring you. Well, if you want to hold strictly to the truth, you didn't. But I never let details like that stop me in the past. Sage Tacitus always encouraged me to show ambition ahead of restraint, and I am nothing if not a student of good advice. He straightens his posture and clears his throat. With your permission, of course. So you invited yourself into the mix. Lantry wipes his brow, leaving a sepia streak. Ah, such foolhardy initiative reminds me of a younger me. It's amazing I still have my teeth, considering what a fucking twit I used to be. Oh, who am I kidding? Still am. So why are you here? I take it you'll need someone to organize this collection of scrolls. Someone to catalog new texts as you discover them. Someone to organize research efforts. As your scribe, I can do all three. In fact, I'm excited to get started. I've already started looking through your collection, and he cuts himself off in size. To be honest, I need the work. The Vellum Citadel isn't exactly up to its old standards, and I'm afraid there aren't many safe places where a sage can find employ during the war. What can you research for me? Oh, any number of topics. Magic, alchemy, the history of the world. You have an impressive collection. Not as large as the Vellum Citadel, perhaps, but no sense in crying over burnt parchment. I've started compiling a list of possible research topics. Allow me to show you. Hello. Silent Archive. Construct research to find plans and schematics for new artifacts. Just requires 8 scrolls, which I have 30 of now, but you need a bunch of recruits. So you can get stuff straight from the Silent Archive because we've achieved that. Does everything cost a bunch of people? Yeah. And this confirms that this first guy doesn't count as a recruit either, so I have to recruit someone just to even get one done. Let's see. So plans and schematics for new artifacts. New drugs. New items. Plans, and then sigils. Research magic sigil. I need to have one of those. Okay. What does that mean? So research magic sigil. Research magic sigil. That's a requirement first? That's not... Magic sigil's not a research I can do, though. You're saying I need to do that first, right? Weird. Okay. I mean, I suppose I may as well start at the beginning, right? So it just says crafting requirements not met. Is that because of the lack of the one guy, or otherwise? A trainer who teaches lore, control fire, control frost, and control lightning. That's great news. Collection of magical scrolls. Regularly provides scrolls. A lot of good people here. More than anything, though, I want somebody who can teach lore after a certain point. So I'm going to be most happy to grab that character in particular. And I'm hesitant to go any further than that because I'm about to run out of money. Let's pay a visit to one of my other spires. I believe they're all currently supposed to have a certain supply of currencies I can use and pick up for my crafting. So I may as well make the rounds and grab some of that stuff while I wait for the character to show up back there. Oh right, I don't think I've met some of my new characters around here. Rageous. The man shuffles back further towards the wall behind him, avoiding as much eye contact with the horizon as possible. Fatebinder. A large grin flashes across his face, only momentarily masking a continually worried expression. As poor a time as any to mention, I'm not fond of heights, eh? Takes a deep breath and calms himself to the best of his ability. If I can master this fear, then I can master anything, right? Oh, geez. Sage's robes. Exquisite quality. I am constantly misled by purple to think that's an amazing item, but there's nothing special about it, it's just upgraded to exquisite level. So you have to look for specific things to actually have it be worth any amount of money. I can sell off some of these items at least for a little bit of money. Bronze dagger, that's garbage. There's a few basic things I can get rid of. Iron guard shouldn't be particularly useful to me either. Boom, there we go. That's money. How about you? At least there should be like 3 of you I haven't met yet, because I hired a few of them just to be able to do my later upgrades. The young forgebound kneels down, her eyes fixed on the molten metal cascading down into the forge. I've never seen anything like this in all my years. She stands up and dusts off her knees. I appreciate the opportunity you've given me. Please, take a look at my wares. So she sells more armor. Straightforward.
Sorry, I can't.
One of you provides me with goods. Is it you? The forge-bound levitates a small glowing orb of flame in his hand before suddenly clenching it with his fist, smothering the flame into nothing but smoke and ash. A strong blade at your side isn't the only implement of war at your disposal. He holds out his arm again, and instantly it becomes engulfed in a field of electricity. I've devoted my life to understanding the elements, and I only grow in that knowledge by teaching others. Ask, and I shall train you. So here's my training opportunities. Fire, frost, lightning, and vigor. This is not the group I would prioritize for that kind of training, but now I finally have access to those things. One of you guys provides me with stuff. So this guy is another vendor, right? Yeah. So there's somebody here I haven't checked with then. The man bows deeply before you. Esteemed Fatebinder Lovebridge. With so many hours spent in the forge, we artisans are a bit prone to gossip. Needless to say, the Fatebinder of the Mountain Spire has been subject to many conversation while working the bellows. He fidgets his hammer anxiously for a moment before lowering his voice. If I may be so bold, I have a question for you. Ask away. Praxis' eyes light up with the same intensity. Oh, shit. Yeah, we've already done this. Oh, it's because I loaded a save to change something. Yeah. Whoopsie. Let's see. Yeah, this is about how... There we go. There we go, though. There's my items I needed. That's actually a lot of crafting goods. And that's the main reason I came back here. So let's see here if I finally get my wish of another character who can continually train Lantry for higher and higher lore. Her name is Phyla. A mage peruses the library with an amused expression. It takes a while for her to notice you. Hmm? Fatebinder? I was wondering when I'd meet you, my patron. She bows. Philia. What? Phyla or Philia, which one is it? One of these is a typo, apparently. Philia of the Forgebound, before you ask me what a smith is doing away from the forge, well, I'm taking a break from ironwork, and this library suits my tastes as present. What's the plan now that you're here? I need some time away from the war effort, assembling the same swords and helmets, using our intellect and art to equip an army, she shivers. The Forge-bound are masters of our craft, but we're artists at heart, and this war has misused our talents. I want to spend some of time among these books, recalling what got me interested in the arcane in the first place. Teaching you should fulfill a similar goal, though I won't know for certain till I get started. She clears her throat. Where shall we begin? Let's talk magic. There it is, lore, Lantry, yay. Unfortunately, it looks like it's going to cap out at 75, which is not very promising, because that's not too far in the future. But at least now I can train lore on characters again. For these three, I'm going to want to go back to one of the first places, though, to train basic stuff. But now I've got that. And maybe I can try researching the easy one. Yeah, this is the one. It's a sigil scroll. It'll cost us 4 scrolls and one of those things. I assume we can do this? Yep. So that's working now. Cool. Let's do some basic upgrades, I suppose. Yeah, let's head back to, crap. I think the Sunset Spire? Between the Sunset and Mountain Spires, I should have the right things to train my other characters. Here we go. We can get 5 points to unarmed combat for kills in shadow. Then we have Tanera, so she can give Lovebridge a bit more thrown weapon training. I'm a little surprised I still can, but I'm about to be done with that regardless. Then one-handed weapons for Barrack. There we go. Everyone's trained to this level. And let's see. Yeah, particularly Lovebridge and Lantry are pretty close to hitting their next level and being ready to train again. So we may be returning pretty soon. With that bit of maintenance taken care of, and power acquired. Wow. 1475. I assume that meter caps out at 1500. But damn, like there's more game left, right? And that meter is basically already full. I wonder if that's the meter that determines whether or not you've become an Archon yet. But anyway, with that bit of maintenance taken care of and a 4th spire claimed, now it's time to meet the voices of Nerat again. And Seven Toes, actually. Let's see. Remind myself real quick. Yeah, harshen Bronze's fate. Let's go ahead and resolve that. Glad to see you're still alive. Cacophony needs good, determined blood like yours. I tested Bronze's loyalty. You don't have to worry about his devotion to the Scarlet Chorus. Nope, 100 rings and gained favor. Pity. I was hoping for some fresh blood to fill his position, but it looks like he still has his uses. Good work, Fatebinder. I'll be sure to pass the word along. There we go. Just one more thing cut out of here. So all that's left is get the 5, get the 5th spire, then there's a pending thing about the Trial of the Archons. We got some new stuff. The Burning Library went poorly for the voices, but more recently we got some Stone Sea stuff here. It says, disfavored soldiers encroached on a Scarlet Chorus operation in the Stone Sea, territory legally claimed by the voices of Nerat, and the Earthshakers wanted to use Cairn to blight the region and starve the Scarlet Chorus soldiers. That's 2 cases of acting out of turn. Who's that? That's Rediman. The voices of Nerat regards you with an unreadable expression. Maybe we should kill them all and start again. That'd be a delight. Bah. We can always dispatch our howling mob when Ash and his iron claws are a stain on this country. Fatebinder, always a pleasure. What do you need to know? We're dizzy with answers. I have successfully resolved the Edict of Stone. And Cairn the Insufferable is vanquished from the lands. As much as the rebellious simpleton of an Archon amused us, an edict resolved is more important than to our purposes. He will not be missed, and our gangs will feast on the fruit of these lands. Oh, level up right there. We thank you, dear Fatebinder, for your assistance. A shame that dire news is the only reward we have in hand. The Archon opens his palm to reveal the charred form of a carrier dove. Hours before you arrived, we received word from one of our agents in Vendrian's Well. It would seem that his favorite have marched across the mountains intent on taking your spire. How about some assistance? You certainly have gangs to spare, and then some. We have already dispatched a regiment. The Archon taps a chin of his mask, but they have a long trek ahead of them. They will fortify your position, but if you don't act fast, the fight may be over before they reach the well. Well, if you excuse me. So this is a... Oh! We got something new here. Visage of Terror. Every 45 seconds I can do an AoE that does rooting and terrifying on nearby enemies. But now I've got this new problem. Because the disfavored are trying to attack my Vendrian's well, Spire. That's annoying. I guess we better get busy with that then, before I deal with anything else here. So this is almost an obligatory plot point at this point. Just so many video games love to have their RPG structure where you get to like you finish like the penultimate mission of the options they gave you, and then they attack you some part of your home base. Then you go on to do the final mission, and then whatever the conclusion is. For Lantry, let's go ahead and aid his ability cooldowns, and then start putting points into Gifted Vigor. So now we'll start getting 10 points at a time into Control Vigor, which is lagging behind probably. Yeah, 76. It's not quite as high as Control Life because it's both. He has a greater variety of healing spells, and because he already had a plus 30 there, gives him a bit of an advantage. So I take it that this favorite have reached peak level of being pissed at me. Fatebinder, put your fears to rest. Chorus reinforcements have arrived. The Crimson Spear bows with a dramatic sweep of the arm. The voices of Narat would not let an honored ally die alone in the battlefield. Certainly not when there are disfavored heads to scalp. Just give the word, and... Oh, it's Fifth Eye, from the very beginning of the game. I guess that they're the ones that he's the most likely person to still be here. The massive sculpture rumbles, shaking the masonry of the spire and sending him off balance. If I was the disfavored, this is probably a good time to change the mind about going after this, because this seems dangerous. This seems like a super weapon of some kind. The orb in the center of the resonator spins with the push of some unseen force. Where the structure once exuded warmth, it now gives off a ferocious heat that singes your face the longer you stare into it. A sound like music swarms in the air around the structure, but it's painful and disharmonious to your ears. Kills and Shadow snaps and snarls at the air, momentarily pained by the pitch of the spire's song. She cracks her spine and pops her shoulders, shifting uncomfortably on her bare, calloused feet. Do not like spires howling. Sounds of slithering scourges, of many and more bane, chasing and biting at Beastwoman's heels. She tilts her face toward the sky, dusty snout sniffing side to side, eyes squeezing shut. Her purpled lips peel back in a satisfied smirk. But can smell. Song is making Alpha stronger, yep. The spire is now fully awake. Its long dormant currents of energy dance to your presence. The tines of your spire, they quiver with arcane undulation. He taps the chin of his mask, purring softly. Exquisite. But what exactly is happening? As the ruler of the spire, I have a mystic link to this place. Give me a moment, and I'll get to the bottom of this. Then listen with all your ears can muster, Fatebinder, for I certainly hope you and this stone monolith have some surprise tucked under your sleeve. He points to his favorite army below, preferably a very big surprise. I'm talking about edicts now. I can talk about how, when I broke the Edict of Fire, I was flooded with intuition on how it all works. I could try proclaiming it without Kairos' words. Am I going to proclaim an edict on myself? When I shouted the edict to stone, I was struck with a flood of visions, mystic wisdom about the edict. I could try proclaiming it without Kairos' words. Or the spire resonates with my voice. I'll shout to the valley that I have an edict from Kairos. That should get them running. Huh. This is bizarre. So I could make one of Kairos' edicts myself, is the suggestion here? It seems like a bad idea. Do I really want the edict or stone or fire to happen around my own spire, necessarily? Just let me think, I'll handle this. Oh, but of course you will, the Crimson Spear smacks his palm against his mask. I'll just stand here while you improvise your way out of this disaster. Well, that's bitchy of you, isn't it? Use the resonator. Alright, this is gonna get interesting. Also, leveled up my character again. I think I've hit my cap on might now. 21! Getting scary. Ooh, Throne Master would be good. Ooh, that looks like fun, actually. Fan of blades. Fire projectiles in a large arc hitting all enemies within a cone. Yes. I do like the sound of that quite a bit. What should I replace it with? Concealing Shadows is probably the go-to one here, actually. Thank you. Neat. So now I've got the melee thrust that makes people easier to hit. I've got the line penetrating shot, and I've got a fan. Oh my goodness. It's that big? That's absurd. A 90-degree cone for 16 meters? That's huge. It's only 1.5 times primary weapon, but that's still absolutely massive for an attack range. Jeez. Alright, what am I gonna do with this thing? The mystic hum of the spire pulses to the cadence of your heart. The ancient structure awaits your command. Let's see. There's still so much that doesn't make sense. I would agree, the Archon of Secrets has shared much with me, but this is beyond even my erudite mind. The air ripples with the heat and the spire's hum. A low chanting of your name echoes through your head. I'm not sure who's actually in control here. Is the spire enhancing my powers, or am I fueling the power of the spire? Your mind drifts to bygone days and past events. Along with a rush of memories you know as your own comes a surge of images, voices, and pangs of joy and sadness, either long forgotten or remembered by someone else. The heat of the burning library still radiates in our lungs and heart. While it's a bit disconcerting that you occasionally exhale steam, the effect seems a harmless reminder of the powers lurking inside you. The cloying weight of granite over your head, the pressing of slabs of gneiss against your chest, those memories of Cairn now live in your mind, as does the recipe of undoing. I know what that rock is. They say only the Overlord can create an edict. Has never been clear. That's no typo. It has never been clear if the Overlord can destroy an edict, and when an edict is resolved, what becomes of the colossal quantities of mystic energy bound into said edict. And they think I'm crazy for hearing voices. At least the ones in my head aren't coming out of an old and phallic monument. The edicts you've encountered crowd into your immediate memory. Whatever splinter or fragments of the edicts you helped to resolve have taken root, flowering into your mind as intuitive understand. Let's see. I can say that the edicts make sense to me now. I can keep pushing for my curiosity. That's actually a good point with subterfuge. I can't have been the first person to mess with this device. Like, maybe there's information to be gleaned. You feel a presence standing adjacent to you in space, but centuries from you in time. For a moment, she seems aware of you, or perhaps you're remembering her speaking to someone standing in the very same spot. She speaks to the spire, and the spire listens, echoing her words, and while she speaks with conviction, her words are not edicts. She lacks the understanding, the conviction. Images of half a dozen figures swarmed through your mind. All of them walked atop this ancient perch, and each discovered but a sliver of the spire's potential. Sense anything? There's a lot to go through here, actually. Let's see. I'm seeing flashes of visitors, but there's nothing about how the spire was built, or who fashioned this sculpture. Whomever was here before, you are the one the spire seems to adore now. Their loss, your gain. They're probably dead by now, to be fair. Let's see. The spires and the tiers are linked. Just how far does this connection go? As soon as your mind finishes the intent of your question, you lose sense of your feet, and your vision expands to the spires on the horizon. Let's mediate and silence our thoughts. As you would command your arms to extend, you think outward, your mind feeling cognizant of the verticality of the spire. You follow the sensation down to the soil, and your sensation stretches out underground, radiating through the Vendrian's Well Valley and branching out to the old walls that ring the mountains. And from there, out to the surrounding old walls and spires of the tiers. You issue a soft hum into the resonator and then fall silent, stretching your senses across the tiers to hear how far your voice can be felt. Your voice becomes a trivial squeak against the raging torrents of the edicts of storms in Blade Grave. The power of the edict swells inside of you, yet your voice is but a whimper everywhere, and Kairos' edicts still hold sway. But where Kairos' edicts no longer churn, your voice echoes with power. Should you will it, the spire will resonate your voice across these lands, enacting a new edict of your own making. This is bizarre. So basically every place that I've removed an edict, I can add one, but, to what end, really? Can't I only proclaim edicts that I already have encountered? Which means I'd basically just be reapplying the same edicts, which seems like a bad idea. Although the Edict of Fire didn't come from any of the places with towers. The spire is showing me the breadth and width of my power. It is for me alone to know. Fascinating. The spire contains such power, the voices in Rat will be most intrigued. I'm getting ready to kill the voices at some point, I think. My link to the spire is confounding. Why me? I lay claim to Ascension Hall. You hear your own voice echo in your mind. Let us be free of this edict. Your mind flashes back to the assault on Ascension Hall, to the moment you fulfilled the wording of Kairos' edict. Sensations of searing heat and chilling cold course through your body as you relive the weightless moment when the edict broke. The fateful instance when the levy vanished and the arcane currents of Kairos' magic were set free. It was in this moment that the spire's old sigil of awakening, long covered by its prior occupants, was set ablaze by the arcane tempest. The spire knows the first moment it found you, and so now you know this too, but whether the meeting was by accident or design is unknown to both of you. You had a distant look about you. Is your big stone edifice talking to you again? Here's hoping it was a lightning. I proved my worth by resolving Kairos' edict. Now the spire has chosen me. I told Nara we ought to slay you before you became a problem. I mean that in the nicest way, of course. Just look at you now. A most remarkable specimen. What could possibly go wrong? We're gonna touch the resonator and concentrate. As you touch the stone structure, your sense of movement slows. You feel the entirety of the tiers at your fingertips. The spire stands ready to channel your will. Okay, what the hell am I gonna do? Select a region to view its current edict or to issue a new one. So you spend power to do it. That's interesting. Edict of Stone or Edict of Fire. Can't do it anywhere else, can I? Just right here? Makes sense. Okay. Wow, there's a lot going on here. So there's the party effects. We already knew about that itself. This makes your magic more powerful. Some frost becomes health. Potions become more effective. This makes magic less effective. My party kind of lacks magic, though. So I'd probably go with fire for those ones. Enemy effects. The enemies also gain magic. The Bane become more powerful. All the enemies lose quickness. Or this weakens the Bane. Enemies become prone for longer, but magic becomes weaker. Weakened Bane seems like a pretty good idea. The Edict of Fire brings the energy of fire to large regions of the world. This generates incredible heat, sometimes flame, as well as strengthening the powers of magic. The Edict of Stone leeches magical energy from the sky and living creatures, sorting it in the rocks below, storing it. This energy can lead to earthquakes and slow petrification of the living. Well, shit. So I'm expending my energy. It's going away now. I feel like weakening the Bane is a good idea, regardless, so maybe I will go for the Edict of Stone. 15 magic skills, not a huge difference, and I like to prone people, so if prone duration lasts longer, that's only helpful to me. So Edict of Stone? No. How is that possible? Kairos gave you this edict, yes? To be read against the disfavored. You didn't just do that yourself. The Crimson Spirit takes a half step back. Did you? I'm just gonna glare silently now. Oh no. The fifth eye backs you up slowly. It was you. Well, aren't you a deep well of surprises? His hands reach up and slowly grip the sides of his mask. Oh, this changes everything. Even the voices of Nerat couldn't have seen this coming, could he? Distant shouts and roars draw the fifth eye's attention to the army amassing below. But first things first, your edict has sown fear and disorder to the disfavored. We must strike now at the zenith of confusion. The fifth eye struts toward the portal with the twirl of his spear. Their suffering has just begun. Join us, Fatebinder. I'd hate for you to miss the fun. Well now. This is a big deal. So the perception of my power is... Okay, so you do spend it. It goes away. That's interesting. So you have to get it back. This isn't a... I thought this was like a progression meter, but it really is an energy source you fill up and then can use again. That's bizarre. Okay, sure. So now... What? Any minute now, Blade and Mark comes after me, right? I just used the same power, at least in some level, that Kairos uses themselves. That makes me... If I was ever a threat, it's certainly now. So I think I should expect misfortune, or at least attacks to repel in my near future.